Well, hey guys. Hey, I wanted to take a second and I wanted to say, first of all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Um, and with that, I kind of gotten to thinking lately about what a year really means in the course of our life. And I wanted to share something with you. Um, I started out, honestly, I started this year um, as in my career as a writer, I really started at the bottom. I had nothing except a roof over my head, and now I'm literally at the cusp of the success that I'm wanting. And it's all happened within the span of 12 months. And what I want to share with you is the power that you can have on your life within 12 months. And what I want to share with you is a story. But first, I want to tell you in January, I didn't have much. I had just, I'll be honest, I had ended a marriage, and the only thing in that was I was left with was my house. That was it. I had nothing else. And here I was in this house, and I slept on the floor. I'm not kidding you. I literally slept on the hardwood floor in my bedroom because I didn't even have the bed to sleep on. And now I am completely at the other end of the spectrum. And here's the reason. When I made the decision that I needed to change my life, I was influenced by a story that I had heard, and I'd like to share the story with you. It's an incredible story of a boxer that I knew when I grew up, and his name was James Buster Douglas. He's famous for being the first person to knock Mike Tyson out back in the 80s and 90s. And in that story that really motivated me, Mike Tyson was unstoppable. I mean, he was the best in boxing. So he went up against this younger James Buster Douglas, and in that fight, Mike Tyson, I mean, he unloaded on him, and everybody had Mike Tyson favored. He was the undisputed champ. He'd never been knocked down. He'd never lost. And during that fight, James Buster Douglas got knocked down like so many others had. Kind of like we do in life sometimes. We get knocked down. And as he was being counted out, the officials counting up to the bell, right before he's about ready to be counted out, the really cool part, the bell rings. The round was over. They take James Buster Douglas back to his corner. Mike Tyson goes back to his corner. And what happens at that moment? Everything changed. Nobody knew it at the time, but when James Buster Douglas had come out, he come back out a different person. And what happened is the person that nobody knew, the underdog, came out and he did the impossible. He knocked Iron Mike Tyson to the ground and not only gave him his first knockdown, his first loss, and he won the heavyweight title of boxing. And I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. But what I wanted to share with you with that story is they asked him later, they said, "How did you win?" And his motivation was real simple. And it's what I want to share with you. The motivation that he had was his mother had health problems. And when she first heard that he was going to fight Mike Tyson, she had so much faith in her son that she went around, she told everybody that she knew, her son was going to beat Mike Tyson. 2 days before that fight was going to happen, James Buster Douglas's mom passed away. And it weighed heavy on his head. It weighed heavy on him all through that match. But then what happened during that was the coolest thing of all that we can do in our lives. We can follow James Buster Douglas's example and do this in our own lives. When he was in that corner, he thought of his mother and he said, I can either go back out here and let my opponent finish me off, and the hopes that my mother had can pass away with her, or I can go back out there and I can live for my mom. I can believe in what she saw in me. He chose the second thing. And what happened was he went out there and his why he was doing it, was stronger than Mike Tyson's. And that's how he won. And see, that's exactly how we do this in life. That you and I, we have the same chances. We have the same opportunities. See, when life has us up against the ropes, we have to define ourselves by what our why is. And that's where I was at and honestly, where I was at the beginning of this year, 2016. I had just gotten out of a marriage. I had nothing but my house and sleeping on a hardwood floor. I knew that I had nothing but a solid floor to go off of. I had nothing but the sky was the limit. And see, that's the really cool thing about where you're at when you're at the bottom is because you can look up and you can get up. You can go for what you want. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where you're at in life. You can reach your opportunities. And that's what I did. And because of this story, I had started to make the decision then that I had to change. Not that I should, but that I had to. And because of that, I started affecting other people around me. And one great example was as I had a friend that had started to see the change, the shift, that I was actually making the change. And this friend of mine wanted to help. And this friend of mine knew somebody that had written a wonderful motivational book about character and branding. And she sent me a copy. And the really cool thing was that as I read this book, it really spoke to me. And it was really telling me in real time what I needed to hear when I needed to hear it. And the really awesome thing was because I had gotten online onto social media and I had thanked her for it, the author who wrote the book actually ended up becoming Facebook friends with me on social media. And that was really awesome because now I talk to this guy. I'm going to meet this guy in January, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. But because of that, I met him. He's motivational. He contacts me every now and then and says, "Hey, you're rocking this. You're doing good. Keep it up." All of that started because I made the decision to start somewhere and say, "This has to happen, not should happen. It has to." And because of that, I am now finishing my year. Remember, I said here I was sleeping on the floor. I have furniture. I have a bed. I have everything that I could need. I have a writing career that went from it was stagnant. I won't lie. It was stagnant. And now I can say that in those 12 months, making that shift, my third book, Barney and Lexi Lost in Lawrenceville, on 4 occasions, almost cracked Amazon.com's top 100 for children's books. Almost 4 times. Well, the closest it came to 190. But that doesn't matter. The fact, I mean, when I sit there and I think about how many books are in the children's market that are on the biggest supplier online, which is Amazon, how cool is that to be 190? And out of the millions and millions, to be ranked 32,000th out of 5 or 6 million. That's an awesome feat. And in your life, take those moments and be glad for them and just crazy happy about it because those moments will keep propelling you. Because I met the author of this wonderful book, I got to find out that he wrote another book now, and I've got it, I've read it, and through him, I've met some other people that are absolutely wonderful, positive, motivated, experienced, successful. And it is a domino effect of moving my life in a positive position. But what it all comes down to is really focus, and you've got to really say, enough is enough, and you got to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you owe you something. You owe yourself a chance. Because if all you ever do is say, I should do this, you're really giving yourself the option to back out. And there's a saying, a quote that I absolutely love, and it's a quote based on the military, and it says, if you want to take the island, you have to burn the boats. And what that means is, in your island, which is whatever you're wanting in life, you've got to eliminate your options to retreat or to fail. See, don't fail. Do one of two things. You either win or you learn. Failure's not an option. Another example I want to use, it's awesome. In my past of 13 years of writing, I have only gone to 2 schools in 13 years and read my books to the young readers. What I have done now in 2016, in the last 2 months alone, I am talking to 26 schools. 26 schools in a 150-mile radius of my home about coming in and reading my 3rd book, Barney and Lexi, to these kids. And it's wonderful because when you read to these children, you can hear a pin drop because you have their attention. And it's not that I'm talking just about writing, but when you're passionate about what you want to do, you'll do it. But you've got to make the mindset shift to do it. And when you make that shift, you don't have to know every single step that you're going to do. Because if you get to a point where you don't know what you're going to do, you may quit. You're not going to know what the costs are. But see, that's the good thing, because if you don't know what the costs are, you're not going to give yourself to the point where you walk away because it's too expensive. And when I mean expensive, meaning too hard. Because the real truth is that in life, your route is simple. Now, don't confuse it with easy. Simple and easy, guys, is not the same thing. What you have to do is realize that it's simple, to know that you get on the path, you make the decision, and if you keep steadily working, opportunities will open for you. They really will. But all too often we think simple means that it should be easy, and it's not. Easy means it doesn't take any effort. Simple just means it's not complicated. If you want to grow, you've got to go. And too many times in life we give up because we always think there'll be a tomorrow. And see, the thing is, in this year that I've changed my life dramatically, is I go on this belief that in one day there's 86,400 seconds in a day. And how you handle those 86,400 seconds is going to determine the next day if you're blessed to have it. Because see, we're not promised tomorrow. So we got to do for today. And how you do with that is going to determine your tomorrow. But see, that's also where you've got to have a goal. Know what you want to do. Because there's the saying out there, people who don't have goals work for people who do. And, I may not know you, but every one of us, and that includes you, has the potential to live an extraordinary life. We really do. We're all given that opportunity. But this year has been phenomenal. I could not have believed that almost 12 months ago, sleeping on the floor, ending a marriage, staying at the same job for 9 years, I was comfortable with it, that so many things would change. And another really awesome thing is with this shift in my mind change, and this would happen to you. I had a job for 9 years that I was really, really comfortable with. And the problem is I got so comfortable with that, I didn't want to change. But with the shift that I made in my mind, I had this opportunity come up, and I thought, Well, I'll take this job part-time. I'll see what happens. That was my open ticket to really change my life. And I will tell you, when I made the decision I was going to leave that comfortable job for one that made me push my boundaries, I blew up. And when I say I blew up, I mean in a good way. Because I went from a job that I worked 7 to 5. I now have a job where I work 2 to 10:30. I clean classrooms at a local high school, which I really enjoy. And what that gives me, I can take my children to school in the morning. I can work on my writing during the day. And the neat thing is, I go to work and I get paid to work, but by cleaning classrooms, I clean by myself because I have my own area. I listen to motivational speeches for 8 hours every night. I'm not kidding. 8 hours every night. I work 5 days a week instead of 6 now. That's 40 hours a week that I listen to Ray Lewis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, uh, Tony Robbins. I listen to these amazing people. And the thing is when you read good books and you listen to great recordings, you go to great events, and you do that over and over, man, you're going to bring positivity because our life is about positive and negative energy. If you're giving off all this negative energy from the minute your alarm clock gives off, that's all you're going to get. But if you wake up with the mindset, I'm going to rock this day, and you get up and you eat a good breakfast and you read a good book and you go for a walk or go for a jog before you go to work. Remember, there's where we get say you got 86,400 seconds in a day. You got time somewhere. But if you do that, I can promise you, you're going to have an extraordinary day. Even if things hit you a little hard, you're really going to be able to power through it. And one thing that I'm excited about, because I've continued to do this, and I had touched on this earlier, um, I have this friend that I had met, the author that I had told you about in the book. His name is Dr. Coit Cooper, and he has written 2 books. One is called Impressions, and the other is called Make Your Mark. He's actually doing something really cool himself. He is having his first ever live event in Noblesville, Indiana on January 22nd. And I am super psyched because I got to be the very first person that was out of state to sign on. So, I mean, I think I'm as pumped as he is, and I'm not even the one giving the lecture. And I'm excited because that's not only benefiting him, but it's benefiting myself by I'm pushing outside of my box. I'm traveling 4 hours to go see a friend and cheer him on. And in return, I absolutely have no doubt that his program is going to do the same for me. So if you want tickets, look up Make Your Mark Live, Coit Cooper, and get a ticket if you're around the Indianapolis area. I'll see you there too. And while I'm up there, I'm hoping that I get a chance to spend some time with a friend of mine who is a successful magician up there and has his own business, his own entertainment company. And kind of what all this is tying back to that I want to tell you is it all started in January, sleeping on that floor, guys, and making the decision up here that I could do it, that I really could change. And when you really make that change, like a tectonic plate in your life, you will feel everything start to change. You will start to attract people that you didn't think you could before. You will start to find yourself excited. See, when you have this fear, it doesn't push you down anymore. I used to get scared to death to go to these events and try to read to children, and that was who I wanted to talk to. Now, I start to get nervous and I get super crazy excited because I know that on the other side of that is absolute success, because on the other side of fear is a reward. Now, I'm not just talking money. I'm not talking an endorsement. I'm not talking a royalty check. It can be that. It could be something as simple as touching somebody in a positive way. I'll give you an example real quick before I go, because I've only got a little bit of time left here. But yesterday I had went through the local McDonald's to uh, get myself something to drink, and as you all know, McDonald's a lot of times has double drive-throughs, and uh, the girl who had gotten there right beside me, um, she got cut off by the woman who was behind me because she didn't want much, and they got there at the same time, and the poor girl who got there with me, she got cut off and she had to wait. I'm sure a lot of you have had that happen. But because of the way I am moving my life, the first thing that popped in my head was something that said, find out how much her order was. And I got up there and I said, hey, what's this lady's order back here in the car that ordered right after me? And they said, oh, well, in the red car there, she got a drink and some fries for like $3. I said, I want to pay for that. Now, I only had a couple dollars left and I was going to be broke, but I really don't care. I took my money out of my wallet. I said, here. And when she pulls up here, tell her that I saw that she got cut off and tell her Merry Christmas. That is the awesomeness of life. When you move towards positive things, guys, it really does happen. Now, my own mother, God bless her soul, she really was nervous when I told her that because I had given up all my money. And, just like moms do, she's trying to get in her purse. Well, let me give you some money. And I said, Mom, I don't want it. I said, I'm fine. No, you need to eat, she said. I said, Mom, I'm fine. And I knew that I'd be okay. Today, because of that mindset, I have no doubt, I got an email from Amazon that almost $200 was going to be put into my account from sales from Barney and Lexi Lost in Lawrenceville that were sold this month. From those times that they almost cracked the top 100. So see, that's what I mean when you have that positive mindset. The good things will come because you're attracting it. And that's something that only a world-class mindset can give you. You'll start meeting people. You'll start having good things come your way. And I'll be honest, a lot of the bad things that you used to focus on, you won't think of anymore because your mindset won't pick up on it. And one thing that before I go, like I said, I've had a wonderful year and I've got a lot of great things lined up for 2017. But one thing I want to do is I want to do something for you. I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if you have grandkids. But one thing I want to do, this is the book that has started it all. This is my book, Barney and Lexi, Lost in Lawrenceville. It is actually available on Amazon for $7. And I encourage anybody to go out and get it. And when you get it, let me know. Give me a shout out and tell me what you think. I've had nothing but 5-star reviews online and offline since. But this is the really cool thing, because I want to end this year on a rocking note. What I'm going to do is I have bought 2 copies of this book. And what I want to do is I want to ask you if you'll like and share this video. And in return, for every like and share that I get together, I will take the person's name. I'll take your name. I'll put a number next to it. I'll put all the numbers in a hat. And on New Year's Eve night, I will have one of my sons who love to help me. I'll have them draw 2 numbers. And I will go back through and I will look at the order of who's liked it. I'll take that number and I will contact you because I will give you a copy of Barney and Lexi. And I will sign it and I will mail it to you at no cost to you. I'll get in touch with you. You get back with me, give me the information that I'll need, and we'll make that happen. And it's just my way of saying, just thank you for everything, because that's the positive mindset. So like this and share it. It's almost the end of the year. I just want to wish you, before I go, because I gotta get to moving on. But I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever your holiday traditions are, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year. I'm not sure that I'll make another video before the end of the year. You never know. Of course, I will be back to definitely post a video on who won 2 copies of the books. And regardless of your situation, we're all humans, and none of our humanness is any different than anyone else's. So what I want to really do is encourage you with what I've told you. I come from a hardwood floor, and that was all I had, to now I'm literally on the cusp of landing a New York City literary agency, and I got to keep my mindset on that. I've got to contact them this new year, to having everything, almost breaking the 100s, being able to take my kids to school, taking a new job, listening to all these motivational speakers, having these new friends that are always telling me I'm doing great, I'm doing awesome. I did it, and I really know that you can do it. So I want to get off here, and I want to just say, keep up, and if you want to grow, you got to go. So you guys take care. Thank you.